a poll out now showing, Washington Post poll, that numbers for Congress are down. Numbers for Democrats in Congress down 10%, significantly down. Why are they down? They asked them. Mainly, they're down not only with the liberal base. Every time I see that in an article, I was like, please define it. And they're like the anti-war liberal base, 60 to 70% of the country, I guess. Okay, but I'm going to get beyond that. But also in independents. And that's where they took the biggest hit. Then they went into the numbers and tried to figure out why the independents lost so much respect for Congress and the Democrats leading Congress. And what was the answer? The answer was, well, we thought they were going to change the situation in Iraq, and they didn't. And we thought, and here's the main question was, who do you think is in charge? And before, the independents were saying, well, now the Democrats are in charge. Now when they asked them again, the independents said, no, turns out Bush is still in charge. Why? Because Democrats bow their head. And then when they bow their head, the independents go, oh, well, okay, same thing as always. These guys are the weak guys we always thought they were, and they are. And so on it goes. So they lose respect for them. How many polls do you have to read? Okay, I know you don't care about principles, but how many polls do you have to read? You're politicians, right? Before you get that what voters care about is strength instead of bowing your head, that they hate you when you bow your head, that they have no respect for you when you bow your head. I don't know. I guess you haven't read enough polls, and so Democrats continue to do that. We'll see, if they wisen up between now and 2008.
Well, again, I disagree with the sense that Democrats as a whole bowed their heads. I think what they did was get beat, and because some capitulated clearly. But again, John Murtha, who has no interest in bowing his head, also voted the wrong way on that. And people had, you praised Joe Biden for some of the stuff he said. He voted the other way on that. All recognizing that the numbers weren't there to win. But I agree with you. In general, what came out of that was a sense, and the portrayal of that was that Democrats capitulated, and I think they unquestionably, as a party, should have fought harder. And I don't understand why there was an attempt to at least make the president veto a bill with benchmarks, because I don't see how that was not a giant political victory for Democrats.
See, but Ben, they're fundamentally getting the politics wrong.
But
and that's where
I understand. Just for the love of God, just let me finish. So I don't understand why they did that. Fortunately, because they are political creatures, I hope what they'll do is see this poll and think, oh, okay, well, obviously we have to fight more, because it couldn't be more plain than they want us to fight more. The good news is, if at any time they succeed in bringing troops home, they will recover that, because it is such a big issue that if they ever at any point in September show the courage to again stand up for the president, play with some purse strings, then what we will see, I stand up to the president again, because of course they did one time before, forcing him to veto that bill, and people loved it. There's no question. It worked. They should do it again. But they can recover this in September, but they better damn well do it.
Man, the Democrats, look, I know. Look, some of you guys get angry about it. Ben's going to get more angry about it. I can't help it. Until they change their stripes, I got to call it like it is, or at the very least call it like I see it. They are so fundamentally weak. The courage to stand up to a president with the worst poll numbers in the history of the United States of America. And they have the courage to do it once, kind of, and then immediately retreat. What outstanding courage.
Well, I mean, it's again, you talk about, then, I mean, you're right, I am going to get mad because I just think you're fundamentally unfair. I think you spin things like Bill O'Reilly and George Bush sometimes. And you're right, but the fact is, they do it once, and you instantly dismiss it. I agree with you.
No, when they did it, I was all in favor of it, but I didn't realize that right afterwards they were going to give him everything he wanted.
Well, I mean, they lost. They were defeated they lost
and
on.
That's where I say they're fundamentally wrong on the politics. You say, hey, if it's a close vote, but then they didn't have the votes, then at least get some political points out of it. But they're not getting political points out of it. The way they would have gotten political points is it was a close vote, but we tried our best, and we sent it up to him 3 times, he vetoed it 3 times, and then we lost because we couldn't override the veto. That's better politically than it is to say, we kind of didn't have the votes, so we all ran away and said, okay, you win.